Welcome to the Planned Maintenance tutorial, which will guide you through the process of adding equipment to the system, as well as creating and completing the planned maintenance schedule. Starting on the Equipment List page, first, add the equipment to the system by clicking on the Add Equipment button. Now, enter the equipment name. Then, select or add an equipment group. The equipment group is a common name that will connect inventory and checklists to multiple pieces of the same equipment. For example, Port Main Engine and Starboard Main Engine will have a group name Main Engines. Next, select the deck name and enter the location of the equipment on that deck. Select the department that is charged with maintaining this equipment, and select a category. Enter the manufacturer, the model number, and the serial number. If you have the PDF manual, you can add it directly to the Manuals page from here. This manual will be displayed for all equipment that is in the same group name added above. Enter the supplier's name along with their contact details. And select the type of equipment you're adding, critical, class, or general. Checking either or both of these checkboxes will automatically add this piece of equipment to the by running hours or the by time period planned maintenance schedules. By checking this checkbox, this equipment name will display in the inventory module so you can assign spare parts to it. Lastly, you can add notes and attachments that are specific to the installation of this piece of equipment. Once complete, click the Save button. Now that the equipment has been added, simply clicking on the entry will display all the entered information. To add the planned maintenance schedule for this piece of equipment, click on the Planned Maintenance tab. Equipment identified as having a by time period maintenance schedule will display here, and equipment identified as having a by running hours maintenance schedule will display in this page. Clicking on the cross in the desired running hours column will open a pop-up where you can review the equipment details, identify if the schedule is to be a single event or recurring maintenance, enter the current running hours for the equipment, and add when the schedule should start from. Enter here how many running hours before the service you want the email reminder to be sent. Once the details are entered, click the Next button here. You are now able to enter all the tasks that are required to complete this service. Enter the task name and add a task description. All the manuals associated with this piece of equipment will populate in this drop-down. Selecting the maintenance manual will enable the engineer to quickly reference the manual if needed. Enter any notes here that will help the engineer during the service. Once completed, click the Save button and then click the Add Task button to add additional tasks to the service. Once all the tasks have been identified, click the Done button. This maintenance schedule now displaying the hours of the next service period. The current hours value is updated every time a machinery log for this equipment is submitted, or you can update it directly on this page by clicking here. The by time period schedule works in the same manner, with the only difference being that the service due date is entered into the schedule. Services that are set to be recurring are identified with this icon, and services that are single events are identified by this icon. Services that are overdue turn red, while services that have been started and saved turn green. If the service is within the notification period that you set, the cell will display orange. The Settings button gives the engineer the option to add the email address that the alert notifications will be sent to, and also allow them to set what type of service interval you would prefer. There are two ways to complete scheduled service on any piece of equipment. 1. From the PM list. Clicking the PM list button will display a list of all the scheduled maintenance along with their due dates or hours. Clicking on the Edit button here will open the service pop-up. Or 2. From either of the schedule pages by clicking on the required service. This will open the same service pop-up. This service pop-up opens the Complete Task tab. To complete this service, mark each task as being complete or not. Then, click the Next or Previous buttons to move to the next task until all tasks are checked. Enter a completed description here, and add multiple photos of the service work by uploading them here. If a maintenance manual is added, it can be opened by clicking on this button. And to view the ship's notes, hover the cursor over the ship's notes button. Adding the current running hours here will update the respective field in the current hours column. If spare parts were used, open the Spare Parts tab and select the items from the inventory list. Once all spare parts are added, you can remove them from the inventory by clicking this button. Back in the Completed Task tab, you can now select the completed date along with who completed the service. Now, click the Done button to finish. The service history is displayed in a number of ways. First, each completed service is saved in the history of each service period. Second, all the completed services are saved in the history page. These records can be sorted or filtered using these functions. Thirdly, every month, a maintenance report automatically creates a PDF that displays all planned and unplanned maintenance for the previous month. These maintenance records are identified as being either critical, class, or general, and display the spare parts used, along with any comments from the vessel or DPA. If you have any questions or would like to schedule an online demonstration, please contact support@superyachtos.com.